How is it possible that someone who doesn't have our warrior blood can do that? Besides, it's like the other time I met him. I can't feel any ki from him. Is he really from another world? Well, that doesn't matter. My blood boils with excitement to fight against that guy. Vegeta would start to increase his ki by using Super Saiyan Blue, creating a big blast of air that would raise all the dust in that place. Wow, Vegeta, I don't think I've ever seen you so excited before. I see this time you'll fight with everything you've got. Don't underestimate me, Kakarot. The guy's using a very rare transformation. I have to see how strong he is. Besides, it'll be like fighting with you, so I'm not holding back. I have to take advantage of this occasion. Before the time of this transformation ends, I have to at least defeat that guy, so that Mr. Goku has no doubt about inviting me to the tournament, and I can participate. I have to do it for my family. Suddenly, Ben would throw himself against Vegeta, throwing some blows, but Vegeta managed to dodge them very easily, stopping Ben's hands very easily. But Ben would open his mouth to launch a strong amount of energy, which would make Vegeta retreat for a few moments. The energy launched by Ben would be about to impact on the capsule core, but Vegeta would deflect the attack with one hand, falling into some mountains that were in that place, generating an explosion that would shake the whole place. But Ben, despite that, would continue launching more energy attacks in the same way. Vegeta would deflect them and then throw a blow in his face, which would make him crash against the mountains that were in that place. Kakarot, and that was all his power. It didn't even make me battle. I think I underestimated him too much. Not even close to the supreme form of the Saiyans. Despite the words of Vegeta, Goku was calm, because he was confident that Ben would be fine after that attack. Vegeta would go to the place where Ben was and would start throwing punches while he was on the ground. That's all your strength? You're just a copy of Kakarot. You're trash! Ben, when he heard that, would be very upset and would throw a punch to Vegeta in the face. But he would move, and dodging the blow, Ben would stand where he was to start fighting Vegeta, giving him punches and kicks, but this would not have much effect on Vegeta. Suddenly, Vegeta would give him a blow in the neck that would leave him almost unconscious, which would put Ben back on the ground. Damn it, if I continue like this, I'm going to lose this battle. It's hard for me to see so many of his moves, and I don't have nearly as much combat experience. If I had at least taken my cousin's karate classes, I would know how to fight. These people aren't like the guys I'm going to face. They're real warriors. Goku, who was watching the battle, would begin to give encouragement to Ben, deciding a few words that would change everything. The only way you can fight is by learning to feel the presence of the enemy. Read their movements. You must close your eyes and concentrate to know where the enemy attack will come from. The only way to survive a new world is to adapt to that world. Now get up from there, and before you run out of time, show him what you're made of. Ben, upon hearing Goku's words, would get a little motivated, so he'd start to get up from the ground and close his eyes, thus managing to see a strong amount of ki in Vegeta's body. Now, Mr. Vegeta, let's fight again. As you wish. Don't blame me for what may happen. The two would launch against each other at high speed, fighting this time on par. Although Ben didn't have much experience, thanks to the fact that he could feel the presence of Vegeta, he would know how to stop some attacks. The place would start shaking again because of the fight, this time calling the attention of the Z-Warriors, who thought it was a new enemy that was attempting to threaten planet Earth. This time you're not doing bad at all, but let's see what you think of this. Vegeta would launch a final flash against Ben, but he would only cover himself with both hands, receiving the attack. Coming out of the smoke with some scratches, Ben would have suddenly disappeared, teleporting in front of Vegeta to throw him a blow again. But this time, Vegeta would be sent flying. While Vegeta was thrown into the air, Ben would join both hands to hit him with another blow, so Vegeta would crash into the ground, creating a large crater. But before he could continue the fight, the clock would turn red. But before time ran out, Ben would go down to the ground to avoid falling from a very high height. He'd return to his human form, being very dizzy. Unlike the other time, Ben would slowly learn the skills of Goku. Vegeta would come out furious from the crater to continue their fight, seeing Ben in his human form again. What do you think you're doing? You underestimate the Prince of the Saiyans. This fight isn't over yet. Vegeta would move quickly, where Ben was to throw a kick at him, believing that he would transform back into Goku. But before it hit, Goku would transform into Super Saiyan Blue to stop his kick. Understand, Vegeta, he can't fight anymore. Don't you see he only has a time limit on his watch? I can tell you don't listen. Shut up, you knucklehead. The fight was getting exciting. It's too bad it's over. The two would return to their base form. Goku would approach where Ben was. I hope you feel well. I'm sorry, Vegeta sometimes gets carried away by the fights. It's just in our blood. Don't worry, Mr. Goku. When I transform into you, I can feel just what you say. It's a pity that in the Supreme Form a lot of energy is wasted. Besides, that watch I have is only a prototype. It's not even finished. That's why it has so many flaws.
Suddenly, while Ben was telling Goku about the problems of the watch, he saw a big flash as if it was a meteorite landing on Earth. Ben, who was a little dizzy, felt a little puzzled and intrigued by what had landed. Whoa, it's Mr. Beerus! I didn't expect him to come to Earth so soon.
Shut your mouth, Goku. We're in big trouble because of you. Soon the Tournament of Power will start, and I need you to recruit the warriors as soon as possible.
At that moment, the god Beerus would suddenly become serious and speaking with a more intimidating tone.
Tell me, what brings you to this world? My angel Whis told me some things about you, and also that you can transform into different beings. Do you have any evil planned in this dimension? Because if so, my hand will not tremble in eliminating you.
Beerus would raise the palm of his hand to Ben. The atmosphere would become tense from one moment to the other. Ben wouldn't know who he was, but he felt that he was someone not normal, because he felt that suddenly the whole atmosphere became heavy. He had to be careful with what he said, because otherwise his life would be in danger. Goku observed the situation and put his hand on his head and then said, "Come on, Mr. Beerus, take it easy. Don't be so mean to him. Besides, I don't feel bad intentions on his part. I guess everyone has their own motives."
I know, Goku, but this is the first person in the millions of years I've been alive that I've met who's from another dimension. We can't trust him.
Ben at that moment would have been nervous, but he knew how to handle the situation for the sake of his friends, because he knew he had to continue with the mission. Goku is a very strong person, but he couldn't handle the Celestial Sapiens alone. If I'm honest, a portal opened up and I entered this world by accident. I'm also looking for a way to return home. That's why I want to participate in the Tournament of Power to ask that dragon to return me to my world.
You really want me to believe that? If that were true, you wouldn't have asked for the great Zeno-sama when you saw Goku for the first time. Someone sent you to this world. There's something you're hiding, brat. I don't like lying people. That's why now you're going to die.
Beerus was preparing his Hakai, but Goku would stand in front of Ben to protect him. Stop, Mr. Beerus, you shouldn't do this. I know I can be trusting sometimes, but he'll have his own motives. I don't feel evil in his heart.
Goku, you better get out of the way or I'll make you disappear. And you'll never be a martial arts fighter again because your soul won't exist. At the beginning when Whis told me about him, I thought he'd be useful for the Tournament of Power as a participant, but I see it won't be like that. He can be a dangerous person. Instead of bringing us benefits, he'll bring us misfortune. I'll not eliminate you because I need you alive for the tournament, but I will end his life.
I see. If things are gonna be like this, then I'll have to fight with you. Ben can escape from here. It's not worth your while to stay here. It's best that you go away. I'll stop him in the meantime. Ben, seeing Goku's act, would be shocked, because he didn't expect a person that he didn't know for a long time to do that for him. But he also felt some guilt, because he knew that Beerus was right in some way.
Don't be silly, Goku. You know you can't beat me. I'm a god of destruction.
Maybe he's right, but if he does something to Ben, I'll refuse to participate in the Tournament of Power, and the universe will be eliminated. If Ben participates in the tournament, it'll be pretty interesting. Besides, there's a high probability of winning.
Because you're such an idiot, Goku. You don't think about the consequences, you just want to fight. Anyway, now there's not much time. If I see the slightest attempt at anything, I'm going to eliminate him.
Thank you, Mr. Beerus. You're not going to regret it.
It's okay. Besides, I'm really hungry. Vegeta, tell Bulma to bring something to eat.
At that very moment, Bulma would have heard the conversation outside. There's no need to call me. You guys are being loud. Can't be Vegeta. Your wife is pregnant and all you think about is fighting. They already have thought of something. Besides, what's all this about a tournament?
Now that I wonder, I also have the same doubt. A while ago you mentioned something like that, but I thought it was a common martial arts tournament. If the god Beerus came, it must be something very important.
Whoa, it can't be. Bulma's gotta have another baby? I thought she was like that because she had eaten too much food. At that, Vegeta would hit Goku on the head.
Stop talking nonsense, Kakarot. Don't deviate from what I'm asking you.
Whis would explain what Goku was too dumb to, and would explain everything that would happen in the tournament, leaving Bulma and Vegeta very scared.
So the whole universe is going to disappear if we lose. Damn it! Just when my daughter's on her way. I'll never get to meet her if we lose. I think you can meet her after all. I can ask Whis for the favor, but in exchange I want Bulma to investigate that boy's watch. I know that watch can scan the DNA of aliens, but to what extent can it scan the DNA of an alien?
Can't be. So many things that my head can't process. I think I'm gonna faint. Bulma began to feel bad because she was very sensitive due to the pregnancy and the news she had just been given. But before she fell to the ground, Vegeta quickly held her in his hands, while Whis used his cane to take away her discomfort.
You feel better now, Bulma. I don't want anything to happen to our daughter.
Don't worry, Vegeta. Thanks to Whis, I feel a little bit better. You just have to assimilate the news. I know that you'll fight for our daughter in that tournament, and everything will be fine, Goku. Goku, seeing the act of Vegeta, would be quite surprised, so thinking, Vegeta's really changed a lot. He's not like before. Now if he's gonna fight in the Tournament of Power, it'll be to return to his family.
Okay, Mr. Beerus, if Whis helps my daughter to be born, I'm sure that Bulma will investigate everything about that boy's watch.
Whis, upon hearing that, without thinking about it, would have helped Bulma to give birth to her daughter, wrapping her in many pieces of clothing, only being able to see her head. Everyone there would be in a very emotional moment, even Ben himself. But unfortunately, there was no time. The other Z Warriors would have arrived at the Capsule Corp, but they were quite disconcerted, because they thought there was an enemy on Earth. But they'd get a big surprise when they saw Ben and Bulma's daughter. Whis would explain to everyone what was going on, who the boy named Ben Tennyson was, the little they knew about him, and the Tournament of the Force. Bulma would ask Ben to take off his watch, but he'd refuse because he said he couldn't take it off. He said this because if he took the watch off, he would fear for her safety, and it was very risky. Then Bulma would see the watch more closely with Ben, and would be quite surprised since she had never seen such technology. The person who invented this watch must be a very smart person. Mr. Beerus said that it could supposedly scan the DNA of any alien. Why don't you scan his DNA and transform yourself? It'd be good to see the limit of power of this watch.